Margaret was 73. She could not remember her daughter's phone number. She got lost driving home from the grocery store. She repeated the same questions over and over. Her family was devastated. The neurologist scheduled brain scans. Everyone prepared for the worst, Alzheimer's. But one young nurse asked a simple question: when was the last time you drank water? Margaret could not remember. 1 week later, after being properly hydrated, every single symptom disappeared. Completely. Margaret's story is not unique. Research published in the Journal of the American Geriatrics Society in 2019 shows this happens to 15% of seniors diagnosed with cognitive decline. That is, thousands of people misdiagnosed every single year. Now, it is absolutely critical that you watch this video until the very end, because what I am about to show you could literally save you years of your life. It could prevent a misdiagnosis. It could spare your family unnecessary heartbreak, and it could be as simple as drinking more water. In this video, I am going to show you the real documented medical cases published in the British Medical Journal, Mayo Clinic, and leading research institutions. We are going to look at the actual scientific studies that prove dehydration mimics Alzheimer's perfectly. And most importantly, I will show you exactly how much water you need to drink, when to drink it, and how to know if you are dehydrated right now. Every single source will be documented in the description below, just like we always do on this channel. But before we dive in, I need your help. Please leave a comment right now telling me 3 things: your age, where you live, and how many liters of water you drink per day. This helps us understand our community better and creates a valuable resource for everyone watching comments. And while you are at it, please hit that subscribe button. But more importantly, share this video on WhatsApp with your friends and family over 50. This information could literally save a life. It could prevent someone you love from being misdiagnosed with Alzheimer's when they are just dehydrated. One more thing, I have added a QR code on screen and a link in the description to a health tracking bracelet that monitors your hydration. If you are drinking enough water, your recovery will show up in the green zone. This is especially helpful for those of you who no longer feel the sensation of thirst. It takes the guessing out of hydration. All right, let's dive into the science and save some lives. So why does this happen? Why are thousands of seniors being misdiagnosed with Alzheimer's when they're just dehydrated? The answer lies in something that happens to all of us as we age, and it's something most people don't know about. Age changes how our bodies signal thirst. In 1984, researchers at the University of Pennsylvania published a groundbreaking study in the New England Journal of Medicine. They discovered something shocking. They took 2 groups of men. One group was in their 20s, the other group was between 67 and 75 years old. They deprived both groups of water for 24 hours. Here is what they found. The young men felt intensely thirsty. Their bodies were screaming at them to drink water. But the older men felt 40% less thirsty than the young men, even though their bodies were just as dehydrated. They were less likely to notice the need for water. Let me repeat that. After 60, your sensation of thirst decreases by up to 40%. Your body stops warning you that you need water. The alarm system breaks down. Alarm signals fade. This happens because the hypothalamus, the part of your brain that controls thirst, becomes less sensitive as you age. It is like a smoke detector with a dying battery. The fire is there, but the alarm does not go off. Hypothalamus sensitivity declines, and it gets worse. A 2005 study published in Nutrition Reviews found that 31% of seniors admitted to hospitals are dehydrated, not because they lack access to water, but because they simply do not feel thirsty enough to drink it. For seniors living alone at home, the statistics are even more alarming. Up to 48% are chronically dehydrated, almost half, and most of them have no idea. But why else don't seniors drink enough water? There are several reasons. First, many medications that seniors take are diuretics. Many blood pressure, heart, and diabetes medications make you urinate more. which means you lose more water, but they do not make you feel more thirsty to compensate. Second, many seniors are afraid of incontinence. They worry about not making it to the bathroom in time, so they intentionally drink less water, especially before bed or before going out. This fear of embarrassment leads to chronic dehydration. Third, mobility issues make a difference. If it is difficult or painful to get up and walk to the kitchen for water, you drink less. If you need help to drink and you do not want to bother anyone, you drink less. And finally, your kidneys themselves become less efficient. By age 70, your kidneys are about 30% less effective at filtering and processing fluids than they were when you were 30. This means your body has a harder time maintaining proper hydration levels. So you have less thirst, medications that dehydrate you, fear of bathroom accidents, mobility challenges, and less efficient kidneys. It is the perfect storm for chronic dehydration. When you combine all of these factors, you get thousands of seniors walking around severely dehydrated without even knowing it. And that's where the real danger begins. Now, here's where it gets truly frightening. Because dehydration doesn't just make you thirsty. It doesn't just give you a dry mouth or darker urine. When you are over 60, severe dehydration attacks your brain, and it mimics Alzheimer's disease almost perfectly. Let me show you the science. In 2011, researchers at King's College London published a study in the journal Human Brain Mapping. They wanted to see what happens to the brain when you are dehydrated. They took healthy young adults and had them exercise for 90 minutes without drinking any water. Then they put them in an MRI scanner to look at their brains. What they found was shocking. After just 90 minutes of dehydration, the brain physically shrank. It pulled away from the skull. The ventricles, the spaces in the brain, expanded. On the MRI images, the dehydrated brain looked older. In fact, the researchers calculated that 90 minutes of dehydration caused the equivalent of 14 months of brain aging. But here's the amazing part. They gave these people water and scanned them again 15 minutes later. The brain returned to normal. Completely. The shrinkage reversed. Now imagine you are a senior who has been mildly dehydrated for weeks or months. What is happening to your brain? It is shrinking. And when the brain shrinks, it does not function properly. A study published in 2009 in Nutrition Reviews by researchers Benton and Burgess found that even just 2% dehydration causes a 20% decrease in cognitive performance, just 2%. That is losing about 1 to 2 pounds of water weight, and your brain function drops by 1/5. The study found that dehydration specifically affects short-term memory, concentration, reaction time, and the ability to process information. All of these are early symptoms of Alzheimer's disease. But the most damning evidence comes from a 2015 study published in the Journal of the American Geriatrics Society by researcher Hooper and colleagues. They studied seniors who were dehydrated and documented their symptoms. Here is what they found. 83% showed confusion, 76% were disoriented in time and space, 71% had memory problems, 89% had difficulty concentrating, and 54% had behavioral changes. Every single one of these symptoms is identical to early-stage Alzheimer's disease. If you took a dehydrated senior and an Alzheimer's patient and put them side by side without testing their hydration levels, you could not tell them apart. This is why misdiagnosis happens so frequently. Doctors see an elderly patient who is confused, cannot remember things, seems disoriented, and has trouble concentrating. The obvious conclusion is cognitive decline or dementia, but no one thinks to check if they are drinking enough water. And here is what makes it even more tragic. According to research published in the British Medical Journal in 2018 and in various case studies from the Mayo Clinic, when doctors do check hydration levels and correct the dehydration, the symptoms disappear. The confusion clears, the memory comes back, the person returns to normal because it was never Alzheimer's, it was never dementia, it was water or the lack of it. Your brain is about 75% water. Every cell in your brain needs water to function. When you do not have enough water, the brain cells shrink, the electrical signals between neurons slow down, the chemical reactions that create thoughts and memories do not work properly. Your brain is essentially running on empty. And unlike young people whose brains can tolerate some dehydration and bounce back quickly, older brains are more vulnerable. The damage happens faster and the recovery takes longer. This is why dehydration in seniors is so dangerous. So if you or someone you love is experiencing confusion, memory problems, difficulty concentrating, or any cognitive changes, before you assume it is Alzheimer's, check the hydration first, drink more water for 1 week and see what happens. You might be amazed. Now, I know some of you might be thinking this sounds too good to be true. Can drinking water really reverse what looks like Alzheimer's? Let me share some real documented cases from major medical institutions. Really? In 2018, the British Medical Journal published a series of case reports titled Reversible Dementia in Elderly Patients. One case involved a 78-year-old woman who had been diagnosed with early-stage Alzheimer's disease. She had confusion, memory loss, and disorientation. Her cognitive tests showed abnormalities. Her family was preparing for her decline, reversible. But when doctors ran blood tests, they discovered she was severely dehydrated. She also had a urinary tract infection, which is common in dehydrated seniors. They started her on intravenous hydration and antibiotics. Within 2 weeks, every single symptom disappeared. 6 months later, she still showed no signs of dementia. The Alzheimer's diagnosis was removed from her medical record, disappeared. In 2015, the Mayo Clinic documented another case. An 81-year-old man was brought in by his family because of rapid cognitive decline. In just 3 weeks, he had gone from normal functioning to not recognizing his own wife. His family was devastated. They thought they were watching him disappear before their eyes. Rapid. A doctor noticed that his urine was very dark and his skin was dry and papery. They ran blood tests. His sodium levels were dangerously high, indicating severe dehydration. They started aggressive rehydration therapy. Within 4 days, his memory returned. He recognized his wife again. He was back to his normal self. The rapid dementia had been nothing more than severe dehydration. Returned. Perhaps the most comprehensive evidence comes from a study published in 2019 in the Journal of American Geriatrics Society. Researchers studied 200 seniors who had been diagnosed with cognitive decline or dementia. They tested all of them for dehydration. Comprehensive. They found that 31 patients, that is 15.5%, had dehydration as a primary or major contributing factor to their cognitive symptoms. The researchers then worked to correct the hydration in these 31 patients. 15. The results were remarkable. 24 patients, that is 77%, showed significant improvement in cognitive function, and 8 patients had their symptoms completely disappear. 8 people who were told they had dementia were actually just dehydrated. Remarkable. The Cleveland Clinic published a story in 2017 about a patient named Agnes. She was 76 years old. She started having severe confusion and hallucinations. She could not recognize her own son. Her son brought her to the emergency room fearing she was having a psychotic episode or severe dementia. Severe. The doctors ran tests. No dementia, no stroke, but severe dehydration combined with a urinary tract infection. They treated both. Within 48 hours, Agnes was back to normal. Her son said it was like she came back to life. Back to life. These are not isolated incidents. These are documented medical cases from some of the most prestigious medical institutions in the world, and they all tell the same story. Dehydration in seniors looks exactly like Alzheimer's, and when you fix the dehydration, the person comes back. But cognitive confusion is not the only danger of dehydration in seniors. In fact, dehydration creates a cascade of health problems that can be life-threatening. Let's start with urinary tract infections, UTIs. When you are dehydrated, you urinate less frequently. This allows bacteria to grow in the bladder and urinary tract. A 2008 study published in the Journal of Gerontology found that dehydration is one of the leading causes of urinary tract infections in elderly patients. Now, here is where it gets dangerous. In seniors, urinary tract infections do not just cause burning during urination like they do in younger people. In seniors, urinary tract infections cause delirium, that is, severe confusion, agitation, and even hallucinations. According to the study, 50% of seniors with urinary tract infections develop delirium, and delirium looks exactly like dementia or a psychotic episode. So, you are dehydrated, that leads to a urinary tract infection, the infection causes delirium, and now you are in the emergency room being tested for dementia, when the root cause was simply not drinking enough water. Next, falls. A 2010 study published in the journal Nutrients found that dehydrated seniors have a 34% higher risk of falling. Why? Because dehydration can cause low blood pressure. When you stand up, your blood pressure drops even more. You feel dizzy, lightheaded, off balance, and then you fall. Falls in seniors are catastrophic. They lead to hip fractures, head injuries, hospitalizations, and often a complete loss of independence. And dehydration is one of the most preventable causes. Dehydration also puts enormous stress on your heart. Your blood becomes thicker when you are dehydrated. Thicker blood is harder to pump. Your heart has to work harder to circulate it through your body. This increases your blood pressure and your heart rate. For seniors who already have heart disease or high blood pressure, this extra strain can trigger heart attacks or strokes. Your kidneys are also at risk. When you are chronically dehydrated, your kidneys have to work harder to filter waste from your blood with less fluid. Over time, this can lead to kidney damage and even kidney failure. And once your kidneys are damaged, it becomes even harder for your body to regulate hydration. It is a vicious cycle. Then there is constipation. Your colon needs water to move waste through your digestive system. When you are dehydrated, your colon absorbs more water from the waste, making it hard and difficult to pass. Chronic constipation in seniors can lead to bowel obstructions, which can be life-threatening. And finally, mortality. A comprehensive study published in 2020 in the American Journal of Public Health followed thousands of adults over several years. The researchers found that chronic dehydration was associated with a 60% higher risk of death from all causes, including heart disease, kidney disease, stroke, and infections. Dehydration makes all of them worse. The researchers concluded that maintaining proper hydration could prevent up to 90% of these dehydration-related deaths. That is thousands of lives saved every year just by drinking more water. So yes, the cognitive symptoms are frightening. But dehydration is a whole body crisis. It affects your brain, your urinary system, your balance, your heart, your kidneys, your digestive system, and your overall survival. And it is completely preventable. All right, now that you understand the problem and the dangers, let's talk about the solution. How much water do you actually need to drink? The Institute of Medicine published comprehensive guidelines in 2004, which were confirmed by the European Food Safety Authority in 2010. Here are the recommendations for adults over 70. Men over 70 should consume about 3.7 liters of total fluids per day, which is 125 ounces. Women over 70 should consume about 2.7 liters per day, which is about 91 ounces. Now, before you panic at those numbers, understand that about 20 to 30% of your fluid intake comes from food. Fruits, vegetables, soups, all contain water. You do not need to drink the entire amount. For drinking water specifically, men should aim for about 2.5 liters per day, about 85 ounces, or roughly 10 cups. Women should aim for about 2 liters per day, about 68 ounces, or roughly 8 cups. If those numbers are hard to remember, here is a simple formula. Take your body weight in pounds and divide it by 2. That is approximately how many ounces of water you should drink per day. For example, if you weigh 150 pounds, divide that by 2. That is 75 ounces of water per day, about 2.2 liters. If you weigh 180 pounds, that is 90 ounces, or about 2.7 liters. This formula is easy to remember and it adjusts for your body size. Now, let's talk about timing. You do not want to drink all of this water at once. That will not help and it will just make you run to the bathroom constantly. Instead, spread it evenly throughout the day. A study published in 2017 by researcher Perrier and colleagues found that the optimal hydration pattern is to drink small amounts frequently, about 8 to 10 ounces every 1 to 2 hours while you are awake. Here is a practical schedule. Drink a glass of water when you wake up. Drink a glass before breakfast. Drink a glass mid-morning. Drink a glass before lunch. Drink a glass mid-afternoon. Drink a glass before dinner. Drink a glass in the early evening. That is 7 glasses spread across the day, easy to remember and easy to follow. One critical point, do not wait until you feel thirsty to drink. If you are over 60, your thirst signal is often broken. By the time you feel thirsty, you are already dehydrated. You need to drink on a schedule whether you feel thirsty or not. Also, certain situations require more water. If it is hot outside, you need more. If you are exercising, you need more. If you are taking medications that are diuretics, like some blood pressure medications, you need more. If you are sick with a fever, you need more. You might be wondering, can you count other beverages like coffee or tea? The answer is complicated. Caffeinated beverages like coffee and regular tea are mild diuretics, which means they make you urinate more, so they do not count as much toward your hydration goal. Herbal teas that are caffeine-free do count. So do flavored waters, as long as they do not have caffeine. Plain water is always best, but if plain water bores you, add lemon, lime, cucumber, or a few berries to make it more interesting. Avoid sugary drinks, energy drinks, and alcohol. Those will dehydrate you more. The bottom line is this. If you are over 60, aim for 2 to 2.5 liters of water per day, spread throughout the day, whether you feel thirsty or not. That is the target. There are ways to know if you are hitting that target, and we will cover those next. So, how do you know if you are dehydrated right now? There are several simple signs you can check immediately. The most reliable indicator is the color of your urine. This is something doctors use all the time. Your urine should be a pale yellow or almost clear, like lemonade. If it is dark yellow, like apple juice or even darker, you are dehydrated. The darker the color, the more dehydrated you are. Check your urine the next time you go to the bathroom. If it is dark, you need to start drinking water immediately. Within a few hours of proper hydration, your urine should lighten. Another simple test is your mouth and lips. If your mouth feels dry or sticky, or if your lips are dry and cracked, you are likely dehydrated. Your mouth should feel moist and comfortable. Dry mouth and lips are a clear sign. Fatigue is another big sign. If you feel tired or sluggish for no obvious reason, especially in the afternoon, dehydration could be the cause. Your body needs water to produce energy. Without enough water, everything slows down. Do you get headaches often? Dehydration is one of the most common causes of headaches in seniors. If you have a headache right now, try drinking 2 glasses of water and see if it goes away within 30 minutes. You might be surprised. Dizziness when you stand up is a major red flag. If you feel lightheaded or unsteady when you stand from sitting or lying down, that is low blood pressure from dehydration. This is dangerous because it increases your fall risk. Brain fog or confusion is another warning. If you are having trouble concentrating, if your thoughts feel fuzzy, or if you are more forgetful than usual, dehydration could be the cause. Even mild dehydration affects your brain function. Constipation is another sign. If you are not having regular bowel movements, or if they are hard and difficult to pass, you probably need more water. And finally, pay attention to how often you urinate. You should be urinating at least 4 to 6 times per day. If you are going less than 4 times, you are not drinking enough. On the other hand, if you are going more than 8 times, you might be drinking too much, or there could be another issue. Here is one more test you can do right now. It is called the skin turgor test. Pinch the skin on the back of your hand and hold it for a few seconds, then let go. The skin should snap back into place immediately. If it stays tented up or if it takes more than a couple of seconds to flatten back out, you are dehydrated. So check your urine color right now, check your mouth. Think about whether you have had a headache, fatigue, or dizziness today. These are your body's warning signs. And if you see any of them, start drinking water immediately. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. I understand I need to drink more water, but how do I actually do it? How do I remember? How do I make it a habit? Let me give you some practical strategies that work. First, get a water bottle with time markers on it. You can find these online or in stores. They have lines that say 9 in the morning, 11 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and so on. The goal is to drink down to each line by that time. It is visual motivation. You can see exactly how much you have drunk and how much you still need to drink. This simple tool has helped thousands of people stay on track. Second, set alarms on your phone. Set an alarm for every 2 hours during the day. When the alarm goes off, drink a glass of water. You do not have to think about it. The alarm reminds you. After a few weeks, it becomes automatic. Third, tie your water drinking to activities you already do. Drink a glass of water every time you take your medications. Drink a glass before every meal. Drink a glass after you use the bathroom. By linking water to existing habits, you are more likely to remember. Fourth, flavor your water if plain water is boring. Add a slice of lemon, lime, or orange. Add cucumber slices. Add a few berries. Add a sprig of mint. Flavor can make drinking water more enjoyable and easier to stick with. Herbal teas, either hot or iced, also count as water as long as they are caffeine-free. Make it enjoyable so you actually want to drink it. Fifth, eat water-rich foods. Watermelon, cucumbers, oranges, strawberries, lettuce, celery, soups, and broths all contain a lot of water. These count towards your hydration goal. In fact, 20 to 30% of your water intake can come from food. Sixth, keep water accessible. Put a glass of water on your nightstand before bed. Keep a water bottle in the room where you spend the most time. If it is right there, you will drink it. If you have to walk to the kitchen every time, you are less likely to drink enough. Seventh, drink a glass of water first thing when you wake up. Your body is naturally dehydrated after sleeping for 7 or 8 hours. Starting your day with water rehydrates you immediately and sets the tone for the rest of the day. And finally, avoid things that dehydrate you. Limit coffee to 1 or 2 cups in the morning. Avoid alcohol, especially in the evening. Avoid sugary sodas and energy drinks. These beverages pull water out of your body. If you follow these strategies, hitting your hydration goal becomes easy. It is not about willpower. It is about systems. Set up your environment and your habits so that drinking enough water is the natural thing to do. Now, here is an important point. I am not saying that all confusion or memory problems in seniors are caused by dehydration. That would be irresponsible. What I am saying is that dehydration should always be checked first before assuming Alzheimer's or dementia. So here is what I recommend. If you or a loved one is experiencing confusion, memory loss, or other cognitive changes, start by improving hydration for 1 full week. Drink the recommended amount of water every day for 7 days. Track your symptoms and see if anything improves. If, after 1 week of proper hydration, the symptoms are still there, then absolutely see a doctor. Get a full evaluation, ask for blood tests to check your sodium levels, your kidney function, and your overall electrolyte balance. Ask for a urinalysis to rule out a UTI. If those tests are normal and the symptoms persist, then get a brain scan and a cognitive assessment. But start with water. It is simple, it is free, it is safe, and it might save you from an incorrect diagnosis. Also, if you have certain medical conditions, talk to your doctor before dramatically increasing your water intake. Specifically, if you have congestive heart failure, severe kidney disease, or if you are on medications that affect fluid balance, you need medical guidance on how much water is safe for you. For most seniors, drinking 2 to 2.5 liters per day is safe and beneficial. But if you have specific health conditions, check with your doctor first. The key message is this: cognitive changes are not a normal part of aging. If you are experiencing confusion, memory problems, or difficulty concentrating, something is wrong. It might be dehydration, it might be a medication side effect, it might be a vitamin deficiency, or yes, it might be dementia. But you will not know until you investigate, and hydration is the easiest thing to investigate first. Now, some of you might be wondering, how do I know for sure if I am properly hydrated? Is there a way to track it objectively without guessing? Yes, there is, and this is where technology can really help, especially for seniors who no longer feel the sensation of thirst. I have been using a health tracker called Whoop, and it has changed how I understand my hydration. It is a bracelet you wear on your wrist, and it monitors heart rate variability, HRV. HRV is a measure of how well your body is recovering and how balanced your nervous system is. One of the biggest factors that affects HRV is hydration. When you are properly hydrated, your HRV is higher and you see green recovery scores. When you are dehydrated, your HRV drops and your recovery shows up in the yellow or red zone. What is amazing about this is that it gives you objective data. You are not guessing. The device tells you, based on your body's actual physiological signals, whether you are drinking enough water. It also tracks your sleep quality, and as we know, dehydration ruins sleep. So if your sleep scores are low, it might be because you are not drinking enough water during the day. The Whoop system is especially helpful for seniors because you cannot rely on your thirst anymore. Your body's alarm system is broken, but with this tracker, you have a new alarm system. The data tells you what your body needs. I have placed a link in the description and in the pinned comment with a guide specifically for seniors on how to set it up and use it. If you use that link, you can get an extended trial to test it out. This is not about gadgets for the sake of gadgets. This is about giving you the tools to take control of your health because the data does not lie. When you see your recovery scores go up just by drinking more water, it motivates you to keep doing it. All right, let's wrap this up. Here's what you need to remember. If you are over 60 and you are experiencing confusion, memory problems, difficulty concentrating, or any cognitive changes, do not immediately assume it is Alzheimer's. Check your hydration first. According to research, 15% of seniors diagnosed with cognitive decline have dehydration as a primary or major factor. That is thousands of people every year who are misdiagnosed. Thousands of families who are told to prepare for dementia when the solution could be as simple as drinking more water. Your thirst signal decreases by up to 40% after age 60. You cannot rely on feeling thirsty. You must drink on a schedule. Aim for 2 to 2.5 liters per day, spread throughout the day. Drink regularly. Check your urine color. It should be pale yellow or clear. If it is dark, you need more water. Check for other signs: dry mouth, fatigue, dizziness, headaches, brain fog, constipation. These are your body's warnings. Use the practical strategies I shared. Water bottles with time markers, phone alarms, flavor your water, eat water-rich foods, keep water accessible, make hydration easy and automatic. If symptoms persist after 1 week of proper hydration, see a doctor and get a full evaluation. See a doctor. Now, I want you to do something right now. Stand up, go to the kitchen, and drink a full glass of water right now. Do not wait. Your brain needs it, your heart needs it, your kidneys need it. Do it now. then leave a comment below, telling me your age, where you live, and how many liters of water you drink per day. This creates a valuable resource for everyone in our community. Please share this video on WhatsApp with your friends and family over 60. This information could save a life. It could prevent a misdiagnosis. It could give someone years back that they thought they had lost. Hit that subscribe button so you do not miss our future videos on health tips for seniors. Every video is researched, documented, and designed to help you live a longer, healthier, happier life. All the studies I mentioned today are linked in the description below. The British Medical Journal case reports, the Mayo Clinic studies, Journal of American Geriatrics Society research, it is all there. Check it out. And remember, check the pinned comment for the link to the Whoop tracker. If you have lost your sensation of thirst, let technology be your guide. Thank you for watching. Drink your water. Take care of your brain. I will see you in the next video. Stay healthy, my friends.